What's up, everyone? Christian Duke, StrengthAddicts.com, here at the factory, hardcore since '84. Now, we are actually at the factory. We're in Ray's office, and I've got NPC figure champion Tiffany Davis, and of course, the great Steve Weingarten with me. So, you won everything.
I guess I did, yes.
You went in, you competed in novice figure,
I did.
a couple other classes, I think.
Just open, so novice figure and open figure.
Okay, so 2 classes, and you won everything. So,
Yes.
how does that happen?
How does that happen? She's darn good. That's how that happens.
Because honestly, you know, for a novice to be able to go, now if you go into a smaller show, it's more feasible. But a show of this size, you know, Brent Jones, Kentucky Derby Festival, Kentucky Derby, again, huge kudos to Brent, you know, to have your show, have anything associated with Kentucky Derby, especially if you know the backstory. He had to go through a lot of work to get that done, and meeting with tons of people and tons of councils, tons of red tape, and he was able to get it done. So talk to us about, I mean, we could talk about the prep and all that, and I want to talk about that, but what I really want to ask you is, when did you know that you were going to win all of it? I mean, was there a moment where you just...
I absolutely did not know I was going to win hardly anything, because it is such a prestigious show, and it is a bigger show than I expected to be in. At the most, I was thinking maybe I come in third, you know?
Wasn't it like a week or a week and a half out where you were telling me you were thinking about dropping out? Wasn't
Yes.
that right? Yeah.
So the week of, I was thinking that I'm not lean enough, I don't have enough muscle for this, and I wasn't going to do it, you know?
That's crazy. And yet, why did you do it?
Steve believed in me. We're new to each other. I think I've been with Steve since August. And honestly, I came to him not to do a show, but I came to him because he told me, and I asked him, I said, can you get me to my best physique? And he felt like he could, and I felt like as a coach to a competitor that we were a good fit for each other. You know, I came to him with a list of questions, and he checked all my boxes and answered all my questions, and I think that this is just the beginning of a good relationship. So
I agree.
Yeah.
And in terms of the prep, though, I mean, Steve really is your first real coach.
Yeah.
This was your first real show.
Yes.
I know you said you'd done a couple shows before, but in terms of this is a whole new level for you, I think.
I walked into the factory almost 3 years ago now, and I knew a trainer there, and I just told him, what do I need to work on? And I was on the stage 8 weeks later. I didn't know what bodybuilding was. I didn't know what a meal plan was. So I was completely new, and I was just out there.
So, and I think, you know, your candor is definitely going to, come across well, because if anything, I know people really appreciate honesty. They don't get it a lot in these types of interviews. A lot of times people are really guarded, and they're really careful about how they answer. They don't want to, give off too much honesty. But I can tell in your case, you're being very candid.
Very. I mean, I'm a pretty open person. I have no reason not to be, so.
That's awesome. Now, in terms of the prep, what would you say, this is more of the canned question, but still I feel like an important one to ask. Of all the things, what would you say was the absolute biggest challenge for you?
The biggest challenge had to be not eating more nuts than I was supposed to.
I was going to say, into the meal plan in one way or another.
It wasn't anything else, but I love mixed nuts, and
And then
I
you
was
begged me
just
to take them away.
And yeah, I told him, I said, just take them out of the plan. He's like, why? I said, because I will eat the whole bag. Besides that, I did almost cry a couple times doing HIIT. I've never had to do HIIT before, and it's definitely new for me. Like I wanted to cry. And that's the first time I experienced that, so it's kind of embarrassing.
You're a very unique competitor because you actually asked your coach to remove something that you actually enjoyed.
Yes, yes, I had to.
And Steve, working with her, what was it like in terms? I mean, surely, she may not have known that she was going to do as well as she did, but I'm sure you did.
I absolutely knew that. I mean, really, the first time I met Tiffany, which was well before she hired me as her coach, I knew she had amazing potential. And in the case of working with an athlete like Tiffany, I think a coach's job is really to guide, to push, and then to stay out of the way, because her genetics are just so amazing. Anybody who knows her would say that. I don't think she realizes it, though.
Though I feel pretty regular. I don't, I enjoy lifting, and I enjoy, now that I know what I feel like I know what figure and bodybuilding is, I enjoy building my physique. I feel like this is what you have to do, and then I do the homework, which is getting here to the gym.
Now, this is the only sport where you just won, 2 days ago? You have someone like me asking you, when's your next show? But really, though, it's so early in the season. We've got the Kentucky Open, which Next Level Sports Nutrition is now title sponsor of. You got the Tricky. You still got the Natural show in Covington. You still got the Kentucky Muscle, and then you've got shows in Indiana and other states. I mean, Kentucky isn't the only state that has shows.
Right.
So, is that even in your mind right now, or are you just still processing the win?
I'm still processing. I think Steve has ideas, and honestly, if he believes in me, then I will follow his guidelines and take the next step, whether it's a natural show or another local show or beyond. So
it sounds like you trust him.
I do. I definitely trust him. I'm honestly, why wouldn't you trust your coach? Especially if I think you should, as a competitor, as an athlete, you should trust your coach. Give them your 100%, and hopefully they give you the same. I mean, that's what you're paying them for. I'm paying him so I don't have to think about it.
But I have to be honest with you, there's a lot of coaches out there. You can pay them and trust them, but they don't know what they're doing. He does, thankfully. But
I think that I also picked Steve as a coach because he's not a competitor himself chasing a pro card. He is a grown, established man with wisdom and experience and more than a handful of successful athletes. Yeah. So I did my research before. And
he was pretty shredded back in the day too. So there you go.
He was pretty shredded.
There you go. Okay, so awesome. So it sounds like you guys, like a lot of Steve's clients, you guys are on the same page. You guys are working together towards a common goal. I think you're going to do great things. And I hope, if anything, this victory builds a lot of self-esteem for you. I know you have the self-esteem, but I don't think you realize, like Steve realizes, the great potential that you have.
I think I see what pros look like, and I see these national qualified competitors, and it is intimidating. And for me, I was nervous about doing the show because I would personally feel like I was disrespecting these other athletes if I didn't bring my best. Mm-hmm. Before we even 100% decided to do the show, I was ready to back out because looking at my body, I was already ready to go back to the drawing board and do work. And that's just the kind of person that I am, Mm-hmm. They're bringing their best, and I would like to do that as well. So it's competitive.
Definitely. And, this is as old school of a gym as it gets. Mm-hmm. And what you just said is as old school of a mindset as it gets, because of real respect for the stage, and that's really cool. Yeah. Finally, social media for you guys?
Yeah, Muscle Bites. That's MUSCLEBITEZ.
KY Prep Coach 1 on Instagram.
Awesome. So for your figure champion, Tiffany Davis, Steve Weingarten, Christian Duke, StrengthAddicts.com.